I honestly disagree with what Justin is saying here. I really don't think there's anybody on the face of the earth that would say that WWF WarZone performs faster than the other games out around that time. Though you could say that he nailed down the boring, sluggish simulation style that they were aiming for. So, bonus points, I guess. You did it. Good job. Well done. You're a hero. You're the man. Nice work, Justin. It's also worth mentioning that 𝓕𝓐𝓷𝓲𝓶𝓪𝓽𝓭 Entertainment was a team of around 20 people, splitting the team in half to work on each version, PlayStation and N64 versions. This interview is actually quite a time capsule, as they go into major detail about how the PlayStation offers up so much more in terms of storage for FMVs, music, commentary, better music, and something that would overall be the downfall of the N64 in the coming years, the dependency on the cartridge as a whole. The main menu of WarZone is pretty incredible, basically putting you in a dark, dingy warehouse that could easily be confused for an endgame stage in a Resident Evil game. There's a biography menu which allows you to take a look at wrestlers' models in full 3D, as well as listening to their theme song and taking a look at what their finishing move is. WarZone is also one of the first wrestling games to contain a proper creative wrestler mode. Although other titles allowed people to edit pre-existing wrestlers, there wasn't anything true like this. This title had a completely crazy random selection as well, allowing you to take a look at the truly monstrous things that can be created here, both male and female. The roster here is fairly interesting, giving us the obvious guys like Taker, Owen, Bret Hart, Shamrock, the headbangers Rock, Austin and Kane, as well as 3 versions of Mankind. But Bret's the odd man out here. The Montreal Screwjob, as I mentioned previously, happened in November, so this title was getting released in July, and including Bret is a really weird one. That's an almost 8-month gap between the two events. Now the worst thing in my mind when it comes to the roster is the weird little details that are essentially missing. For example, HBK's wrist tape is gone. HBK and Bret's hair is either tied up or just very straight, and for whatever reason, through a very CRT, you could probably look past these tiny details. Each wrestler does have their own alternate attire available, which is pretty sweet for the time. It even gives us Kane's badass inverted attire, which may not have even existed in '97. The loading screens into matches are pretty cool looking. They're basically just match-up screens, showing us a render of our selected star and their opponent. I love the charm to these, they're great. Now once a match starts, or is about to start, Vince and JR introduce themselves and go on to introduce the wrestlers that we're playing as.
Welcome to the WarZone. This capacity crowd is on their feet. I'm Vince McMahon.
I'm Jim Ross. It ought to be a great matchup.
From the bowels of hell, Kane.
The sky's the limit for this Crimson Beast.
Bret Hart is one of the most technically sound wrestlers in the sport.
This isn't about popularity. He's the king of the hill.